It's a moral conundrum for a bird lawyer as to whether they read the newspapers and value them highly or shit on them. But speaking of shitting on things, I don't entirely remember where we left off, but I believe it was just before the trial. Which is good, because I can remember very little of what happened last time. Once again, Falcon and Sparrowson find themselves waiting outside the doors of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. Are you feeling nervous, Falcon? Well, I said no last time, like a confident motherfucker, and I don't know. Well, we sort of did the case right and then didn't, so yes. Of course I'm nervous. What have we learned about Prince Juan? What do we know about the real murderer? Nothing. Easy there, Falcon. We can do this. Start again. Signor Falcon, I trust everything is in order. Absolutely. I have every intention of bringing the truth to light in this trial. Do you have to carry that boombox with you everywhere? Or the mariachi band, or whatever. Probably be a more whole orchestra, wouldn't it? Ah, such confidence. That's magnificent to see. And bringing the truth to light, you say, an admirable goal. Admirable? Admiral. Admiral? Hang on, I said admirable, which is the correct word. He's saying admiral. How strange. Should have proofread that, maybe. To be fair, that's the one typo we've seen thus far. No more jousting at imaginary giants. Who knows, maybe that's a pun as well. All of you using hammer in the door. Here we go. Buena suerte, Senor Falcon. No idea. Good something. Good trialing. We will. Are we ready? No. It's 995 says salutations. Hello. Welcome to court. Everything you say is on record. Although we never see the... Isn't there like someone typing usually? Like typing it all up. Haven't seen them, whoever they are yet. Oh yes, and great. We never quite figured this guy's voice out. JJ. Severin. Nervous? Why would I be nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm as calm as a cuckoo. You're the nervous one. This whole courtroom is nervous. Well, cool your feathers, Falcon. Terrible. You can't even maintain a stoic facade. I thought this trial would be the perfect opportunity for you to redeem your previous embarrassments. But if this is how you act before the trial has even started... Why, you pompous-tailed, posture-perfect partridge. Oh shit, it's a different judge. Judge Romulus? Okay, but like... Come on. Laying it on a bit fucking thick. He was already sketchy as fuck. Also, I'm not doing the old man voice. Just kind of gruff wolf voice, I guess. Order, order. Let's all settle down. Court is now in session. That's going to do wonders for my vocal cords. Psst, Falcon. What is it? Is it me, or does the primary judge look hairier today? Oh, was it supposed to be the old heron, or whatever he was? That's a different judge to the one who resided over Dame Cataline's trial, you doofus. Didn't do the emphasis great there. Oh, still, it's a little strange, isn't it? Yes. It's a little, I suppose. Judge Maxime has gone on temporary sick leave due to a terrible accident with a flight of stairs. But rest assured, assessors, prosecutor, defense, and members of the jury that I am more than qualified to fill his shoes. Without further ado, let's get this show underway. This is the trial of Prince Juan Querido,
who stands accused of murdering Major Howell and of conspiring to murder the king himself. Roll call.
The defense is present and ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Good, very good. I expect this to be a nice speedy trial. I don't want to see this dragged out by technicalities and bureaucracy.
Good, because my voice can't handle too lengthy a monologue from him. Well said, Your Honor. I expect that once the court sees the overwhelming evidence, this trial will be over in 5 minutes. Let's hope so. 5 minutes? He's just messing with your head, Falcon. Keep it together.
So we're all on the same page. Excellent. Prosecutor, please call your first witness to the stand.
Very well. I call the police officer who investigated the crime scene. I call upon Inspector Just Valerti.
Step up to the stand, Inspector, and recite the oath.
Oh, fuck, it's this guy again. Don't mind him, it's just that I'm... Okay. Pirate voice is not quite as strenuous.
I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but that there truth.
Please recite your name and occupation for the court record.
My name is Inspector Just Valerti. I am a servant to the law.
Wait, I've got a bit cockney now, isn't it? I knew I was losing it.
A scourge of the gutter rats.
That will do, Inspector. We've all heard your monologue before. Wow, Cocorico is really going for a speed record, isn't he? Now, can you tell us what you witnessed on the morning of the 7th of January?
Of course. At 10 o'clock in the morning, I was called to Louvre's Grand Gallery by one of the King's Royal Guards.
Did he just say o'clock?
There I saw Prince Juan, King Louis Philippe, the corpse of Major Howell, with a rose in hand, and around 24 citizens. The citizens and the king himself all attest to seeing Major Howell taking the rose from Prince Juan's hand, and then promptly dropping dead.
And what did the morgue uncover upon examination of the corpse?
It was gross, really disgusting. The coroner also determined with absolute certainty that Major Howell died of poisoning. Aside from a prick upon the finger, there was no sign of external harm to Major Howell's body. Therefore, the poisoned rose must have been the cause of death.
Putting the pieces together, that does seem very implicative of the prince. I have no further questions. Damn, I was hoping that the coroner's report would determine that the guy died from a freak heart attack or something. That would make for a particularly speedy trial, wouldn't it? But no, we aren't so lucky. Something else must be amiss in the old bird's testimony. Right, I'll tear it apart. Your Honour, I wish to cross-examine the witness.
Falcon, wasn't it? Don't waste the court's time. A high-ranking police officer would never lie on the witness stand.
He was wrong before, wasn't he? He didn't lie, but he fucked up. I wouldn't accuse the inspector of lying. I just want to make sure that every base is properly covered.
This sounds like pointless nitpicking to me, but I'll allow it for now. Go on, Falcon, do your cross-examination.
Shit. Haven't got a fucking clue this time. That's not important, that's just a pun. It was definitely him who died, it seems. Yeah, we never got to see that guy. Chocolate wrapper. Well, the only thing we don't know for definite is this, or it doesn't strike me as knowing that for definite, so maybe this. Honestly, it's a guess, pretty much. Inspector, you say there were around 24 citizens, all of whom attest to seeing my client deliver the poisoned rose. Oh boy, when you put it like that, our situation seems a little dire, doesn't it?
Correct. We collected precisely 22 testimonies and there were no major inconsistencies.
I would like some further details. What exactly did the testimonies say?
Each citizen attested to seeing the king and his entourage approaching the new painting in the Grand Gallery. They each heard the king deliver a short speech which was on the subject of progress and societal improvements and whatnot. Very boring. There was some applause, but not enough, so it's kind of embarrassing. Then Prince Juan stepped out of the crowd and approached the king with a rose in his hand. Each person then saw Major Howell take the rose from Prince Juan, and each person saw Major Howell promptly drop dead.
I see.
Some of the descriptions of the man's death were quite graphic. He convulsed, twisted, and spasmed, said one witness. His mouth frothed like he was a rabid lunatic, said another.
Thank you, Inspector. I think we get the picture. I mean, that seems fairly solid. I don't think I'm going to get this one. I at least had one thing to go off before. All I've got here is like a chocolate bar thing. Shit. Is it definitely poisoning? They seemed very certain on that. Ugh, fuck it, let's try the time. 10 o'clock, you say?
Correct, 10 o'clock.
That's not going to matter anything, is it? Or is it? I don't know. Surely you meant to say 10 o'clock.
I beg your pardon.
You clucked. Like a chicken. JJ, do you really want to kick off this trial by picking on petty pronunciation peculiarities? Yeah, ironically I can't pronounce the word pronunciation. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Why would the inspector choose to say 10 o'clock rather than 10 o'clock? Really now, that is a ridiculous thing to pick up on. Yes, JJ, us roosters have been known to cluck on occasion. It's a habit. Get over it.
This is such blatant time wasting.
You lost a little favour with the jury. I'm surprised it took them that long, I'll be honest.
Do you have another question about Inspector Valerte's arrival of 10 o'clock?
Yes? From the time you were called, how long did it take you to arrive at the crime scene?
Around 5 minutes. I happened to be in the neighbouring Palais Royal at the time, so it was a simple journey.
And I'm guessing that Major Howell would have been dead for around 10 minutes by the time you arrived.
That would be a fair estimate.
Plenty of time for a bad guy to slip away, huh? That's definitely a possibility. I don't think the court would appreciate my wild speculations, though. It seemed like something, but it kind of isn't. Oh, fucking bollocks. No, I don't. I have no more questions about the inspector's clucking habit. So I wonder if there is a proper way to fail, because like it seems... Or maybe I only have one more guess of this and then they'll be pissed off with me and want to move on. SN95 says, I have an exam tomorrow. The subject is Microsoft Word. Wait, the exam is in Microsoft Word or it's on Microsoft Word? Like, the subject is Microsoft Word. That's strange. suppose that could be a thing. But also, it seems like you and Cog have been doing exams for fucking ages now. I suppose they can take a while, but it seems like months. Paper exam, says S995. Okay, so it's a kind of IT literacy sort of thing, I suppose. Yes, it is a thing in Iraq. Fair enough. I mean, anything could be a thing now. It's been a while since I've done any exams, so... fuck, I'm guessing even more now then. Could there be something with that? Inspector, I would like to ask you about the victim, Major Howell. That's an interesting possibility. We've been treating this case as if the intended murder target was King Louis Philippe. But if there is another possibility, what if the killer was trying to murder Major Howell from the very beginning? JJ, stop talking. You just said something very stupid. I could explain why and humiliate you in front of the whole court. Alternatively, you could retract your question right now and I will save your humiliation for another day. I mean, he's been throwing shade on me the entire time, but he seemed very prompt with that one, which suggests defensiveness. Also, like, I could look like an absolute moron anyway, so why not just go lean into it? I know a bluff when I see one, Severin. My question stands. Okay, here goes. The myriad of reasons why your question was unfathomably stupid. First, it doesn't absolve your client of any guilt. If the defendant was intending to murder Major Howell, then he is still guilty of murder and would likely face the same punishment as before. Second, it doesn't make any sense. Nobody has a motive to kill Major Howell, but plenty have a motive to kill the king. Alright, I get it. Third, many citizens attested to seeing the defendant deliberately try to approach the king himself, not the major. His intentions were clear to everyone present. Fourth,
Prosecutor, that will do. Defense, don't ask such stupid questions. Do you have another question about the victim, Major Howell?
No. I mean, just ask everything I can at this point. Who was he? Well, we know he's the Royal Guard. It could be that, it could be nothing. Fucked if I know. Let's... Poisoning. It's got to be this. There's got to be something here. Inspector, you say that the coroner determined with certainty that Major Howell was killed by poison.
Correct. He stated the signs and symptoms were textbook. There is no possibility that his death was natural.
Did the coroner mention specifically what kind of poison it was?
He was not certain. At first the coroner posited that it was a plant-borne poison, like that of the aconite flower. But when he learned how fast the poison had taken effect, he noted that this was atypical of aconite. Consequently, he suggested that it may have been some newly engineered concoction.
Newly engineered poison, you say? Well, that only reaffirms that this was a very deliberate assassination attempt.
Indeed.
I mean, they're saying from the prick of the rose, but... How exactly was Major Howell poisoned? What was the delivery mechanism?
His finger was pricked by the poison rose. He even commented out loud about it seconds before dying. All 22 citizens who witnessed the murder attested to seeing and hearing this.
Is there any possibility that he was poisoned by something else? What an absurd thing to ask, JJ. You just heard that 22 people saw the victim prick his finger and die. What are you suggesting, that the pricked finger had no relation to the poisoning? by process of elimination, that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't doubt that Major Howell was poisoned, but I do doubt that the rose was the cause. Unbelievable, only a total buffoon could fail to draw the blatant link here. JJ, as tempting as it is to sit here and lecture you on the basics of cause and effect, I'll end this discussion painlessly. Inspector, please tell the defense that you found traces of poison on the thorns of the rose itself. That should alleviate all doubt that the rose was in fact the poison delivery mechanism.
Actually, I can't tell him that.
Ah, get fucked. I dread to ask, but why not?
We didn't check the rose for traces of poison, it just seemed obvious that the rose caused the poisoning, given the timing of the incident.
Well then, now would be a good time to make a test. Here's a marvellous thought. We prick the finger of the defendant with the rose. If there is no poison on the rose, then Prince Juan lives and he is free to go. If the rose is poisoned, then the prince dies, but that's okay because the punishment would be just and fitting of the crime. No, that's not a marvellous suggestion. That's completely unorthodox and batshit for a court of law.
A marvellous suggestion.
What is this, a witch trial? This isn't America, Severin. That's not how we do things here. Calm your feathers, JJ. It was clearly a joke. There are far more humane ways of testing for poison. I'm sure the inspector will perform his duty with due diligence.
Actually, we won't be able to test the rose for poison at all.
Why is that?
Given the dangerous nature of the flower, it was destroyed by the police force. We burned it to ashes.
Such unprofessionalism. If we have no way to know whether the rose was poisoned, then this whole trial ought to be called into question. Nice try, JJ, but through the process of reasoning by elimination, we could still deduce with absolute certainty that the rose was poisoned. In other words, there was nothing else at the crime scene that could have caused the poisoning. Wrong! There was something else at the crime scene that could have contained the poison, something the investigative police blindly overlooked. Chalk alert. That's all I've got to go on. I mean, the elephant seemed positive. There was no way his stuff was contaminated, but then he would say that, wouldn't he? He's not going to admit his product is fucked up or tampered with. Look at this. Please, let it be something. What am I supposed to be looking at? It is the paper wrapper to a piece of chocolate. It was found in the Louvre, the Salé de Tibre to be precise, and we can date its consumption to the day of the incident. You're not suggesting that Major Howell ate a piece of poisoned chocolate moments before he died? I most certainly am. Oh, it was pretty convincing. I'm glad they thought so, because I've no fucking idea. Did you see this wrapper at the crime scene for yourself, Inspector?
The police force does not have time nor resources to trawl every piece of trash at every crime scene, I'm afraid.
In other words, you overlooked it. Astounding unprofessionalism.
The prosecution is right to be disgusted. What a disgraceful display, Inspector.
I offer
my apologies, Your Honour. I don't want your apologies. I want you to do your damn job properly. Get off the witness podium before I kick you off myself. As you wish. I'll take my leave. Until next time, messieurs.
Fuck my fucking throat. More ginger tea today. So let me get this straight. This chocolate wrapper was found at the crime scene? Correct. And you have reason to believe that it was consumed on the day of the incident? I do. I have an expert food tasting witness who is willing to testify if need be. You have a foodie witness? I don't recall anyone like that. Who on earth are you talking about, Falcon? Oh, I see. Do you know for certain that Major Howell consumed this chocolate? Well, that is a fact we are still investigating. I see, and do you have evidence that this chocolate was in fact poisoned? Again, that is something that may require a little more time to definitively prove. So then, in actuality, you do not have evidence that Major Howell consumed some poisoned chocolate. Instead, you have a solitary piece of rubbish that you plucked straight out of the gutter. That's weak even for you, JJ. Oh. Let's move things along. I have another witness I would like to summon. He is a man who claims to have had an excellent view of the people going in and out of the Louvre at the time of the incident. I call upon Monsieur Toussaint Kingley. Oh, this will be another new voice then. S905 says, I have not drunk tea intentionally for years as far as I can recall. I don't blame you. It's not doing a lot for me, I'll be honest. I only started drinking green tea because of the supposed health benefits, and a trusted source has since told me that that's kind of bollocks. So, waste of time and money.
Could the witness please approach the stand and recite the oath?
A kingfisher, I see. Right, yeah, Kingley. Jesus, I'm running out of voices, aren't I? Hello, hello, hello. That's just what comes naturally. Hello. Alright, the oath. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please state your full name and occupation for the court record. My name is Toussaint Kingley and I'm a person who fishes. A person who fishes, so you are a fisherman. Oh, is that how it is? I thought the French justice system was better than this. I beg your pardon? Here comes Toussaint Kingley, the kingfisher. Clearly he must be a fisherman, because didn't you hear? All kingfishers are fishermen. Well, you are carrying a fishing rod. And? And can a man not carry a fishing rod, reel and bait without being branded a fisherman? Look, look, the prosecutor is carrying a riding crop. Clearly he must be a horse jockey. Oh, for pity's sake, fine, we can list your occupation as person who fishes and not fisherman. Thank you. Actually, why do you carry a riding crop, Severin? I've never seen you ride a horse. I don't know, JJ. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane? Fuck. Low blow.
This is veering quite far off the course. Could the prosecution please fucking sort your shit out?
Of course, Your Honour. Monsieur Kingley, is it true that you were nearby the Louvre at the time of the incident? Yes, I was sitting upon a railing of the Pont des Arts. The Pont des Arts? That's the new bridge that's just a stone's throw from the Louvre's south entrance, correct? That's right. And what were you doing at the time of the incident? I was fishing. Pfft, kingfishers, am I right, Falcon? So you would have had plenty of opportunity to see the people who entered and exited the palace. Can you tell us who you saw? Well, Louvre's a busy place, naturally. I saw a lot of people. But at 9 AM I saw the king, Louis Philippe himself, enter the building. He was surrounded by his entourage, of course. Then around 9:30 AM I saw this shifty-looking fox lurking around the entrance. Your Honour, I object to the witness's use of the term shifty-looking. It's vague and biased description. No, really, he looks super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and cackling gleefully. And then I saw him take out a rose and carefully rub the stem. Rub the stem of the rose, you say, as if he were applying something to the flower, perhaps. Well, monsieur, I really shouldn't speculate. Of course, it was wrong of me to ask such a leading question. But yeah, it definitely looked like he was putting some sort of powder on the stem. Has this fucker bought everyone in the court? It's these little pauses and little hesitations. I noticed it with the inspector and now with this guy. Like the kangaroo court. The whole thing's a... I mean, kangaroo court could literally happen in this game. We'll have to see how it goes. Wow, even I wasn't expecting such a bold admission. Members of the court, it sounds like what we have here is a direct witnessing of the defendant readying the murder weapon. The defense claims that the rose was never poisoned, and yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his own eyes. I smell perjury. You do? Now question, he saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison and cackling near the scene of the crime. That's not believable at all. I think you might be right. I wonder if I have any evidence that calls Toussaint's story into doubt. Your Honour, I would like to cross-examine you.
Really, this nonsense again? You just heard the witness directly describe your client readying poison on a rose. What is there to question?
I'm just trying to uncover the truth, Your Honour.
Ah! Fine. Do your thing. Go on, Falcon. Go make a fool out of yourself. I'm going for a fag.
Do I have any evidence that... We found the page of the book. We don't know why he tore that out of the book, but that was found in the garden. Was that near the bridge? No, that's the west entrance. He's talking about being south. So that's... So we might have... We've got fucking nothing, it sounds like. Unless that is the evidence, because it proves that Prince Juan was at the west entrance, not the south entrance. Yes. And with all these foxes and wolves and cats and, you know, kind of, not feline, but, you know, everything with claws, basically. I feel like there's a lot of room for things to get misinterpreted, misconstrued. Maybe the judge killed him for all I fucking know. So 9 AM. I'm not sure which of these really. If it says south entrance somewhere, I would have, yeah. Monsieur Kingley, you claim that you saw a shifty looking fox. Yep, super mega shifty. Just outright racism. There must be at least 100 foxes in Paris. How do you know that the fox you saw was Prince Juan? Well, he was wearing a suave hat that hung low over his eyes. I hear that's how they wear them in Spain. I'm not much of a fashion expert, but the rest of his outfit looked quite out of place for the French winter. Is that all you're going by, his fashion sense? Oh, I nearly forgot. I heard him call a passerby Signor. I thought that was peculiar. Well, that's him, alright. Fuck it, let's go with blatant racism. That's not a valid testimony. All foxes are shifty looking by default. Whoa! That's not cool. Mon Dieu, JJ. It's the 19th century. You can't just throw out slurs like that in this day and age. I'm just saying. No, you listen. France is better than this. We've moved past our need to hold back animals we don't like through the use of oppressive stereotypes.
Well said, prosecutor. Slurs are archaic. Now we as a society can hold back animals we don't like through much more subtle institutional means.
Oh. Satirical. Right. Wait, what? I guess not. Fuck. Can I just... How much money have I got? Can I bribe them? Mr. Kingley, you say that you saw a fox rubbing the stem of a rose. Yep, saw it with my own 2 eyes. My own eyes, not 2. I've only got 1 at any given time, being as I am a 2D portrait. How far away from you were you from the south entrance? 20 meters, perhaps? 30? I'm somewhat doubtful that you can make out powder being applied at anything at those sorts of distances. Monsieur, I don't claim to have seen the powder itself. I said that it looked like he was applying powder to the flower stem. It could have been a wax or a liquid or whatever, but the guy was definitely putting something on the flower. I see, well that's nice and vague. Are you certain that the fox was handling a rose and not some other type of flower? Pretty sure the red petals stand out quite nicely on a grey January morning. So you are confident, you are absolutely sure that you clearly saw a bright red flower in the fox's hands. What are you getting at, JJ? Did he not? I thought he did. Hang on. Is this just a blatant lie? Well, it's either that or nothing, so fuck it. We've tried racism, let's try lying to the court. I have reason to believe that Prince Juan did not possess a rose at all. I think he may have been in possession of a sprig of monkshood. Where the fuck am I getting this from? Or even just a simple daisy. Really? You're claiming that Prince Juan did not possess a rose despite 22 witnesses testified to seeing him handing a rose to the king. This is a ludicrous line of inquiry. There is zero doubt that Prince Juan possessed a rose on the day of the murder.
Agreed, defense. Knock it off with this moronic way of thinking.
Yep, well that didn't work then. Never mind, I have no more questions about the poisoned rose. Shit and fuck and piss and balls. I'm surprised we kind of made it this far, to be honest. Maybe it's that, and then we can bring in the evidence about him being somewhere else. Monsieur Kingsley, you say that you were sitting upon the railings of the Pont des Arts on the morning of the incident. Yep. Don't piss him off again. Monsieur Kingsley, you had a good view of the Louvre's south entrance, didn't you? Yep, the Pont des Arts is a great vantage point for seeing the Grand Gallery's south side. Hang on, let's have an actual look at this then. So, he is on this bridge, fishing or some such. But then we found the thing at the west entrance. These gardens, possibly. Unclear. What about the other entrances? The other entrances? You mean like if you were entering from Tuileries Gardens or the Place du Carrousel? Yeah, is that the gardens? I don't know. No, I couldn't possibly see those areas from the bridge. But of course that isn't relevant. Monsieur Kingsley witnessed Prince Juan entering the south entrance with flower in hand, and that's what counts. Aha! What if Prince Juan didn't enter from the south entrance? What if he approached the Louvre from the west? Let me check. Yes, west entrance. Tuileries Gardens to the west. That's a big what if. Do you have any evidence that Prince Juan entered the Louvre from the Tuileries Gardens? I can't pronounce that any time it comes up. As a matter of fact, yes I do. I have definitive proof that Prince Juan approached from the west, not the south. Hey, I know what I saw, monsieur. I'm doubtful too. Go on, JJ, show us this definitive proof that Prince Juan entered from the Louvre. From the Louvre from Tuileries Gardens. Entered to the Louvre, probably. Oh, it doesn't matter. Look at this, bitches. A book... Wait, oh, wrong. Yes, there's similar voices. A book page. Page 44 of Don Quixote specific... For years, whenever I saw that, I went Quixote. And I almost fell back into it there. Quixote specifically, it was found just outside the Louvre's west entrance. This proves nothing. I'm not done yet, motherfucker. Take a look at this. Don Quixote. This is the book Prince Juan has been reading in jail since his arrest. I believe he has had it on his person for some time. And yes, page 44 is missing. That was the first thing I checked. You do realize what this means, don't you, Severin? The defendant was present in Tuileries Gardens prior to entering the Louvre. This also means that in all likelihood, the defendant entered the Louvre from the west entrance, not the south. So, fuck yourself. He could not possibly have been seen by Monsieur Kingsley from the Pont d'Arts. Well, I know what I saw, monsieur. A fine theory, Falcon, but maybe the defendant took the long way around. One can still travel from Tuileries to the Louvre's south entrance by walking along the river. An extra 2 kilometers of walking just to enjoy the pre-murder scenery? Let's not say silly things, Cocorico. Okay, maybe the defendant deliberately left the page there to mislead the investigation. Now you're the one who's blindly speculating. It's not blind speculation, it's a viable hypothesis. You are fond of logic, aren't you, Cocorico? Let's talk about Occam's razor. Oh shit. Bitch is about to get cut. When torn between two seemingly equal hypotheses, we must side with the one that imposes the fewest assumptions. Which of these theories takes fewer assumptions? 1. The page from Prince Juan's book fell out on his way to the Louvre's south entrance. 2. Prince Juan deliberately planted the page on the off chance that it would be discovered, then he took the long way around. How dare you, the nerve of you, to lecture me on such basic philosophical concepts. Well, I fucking lost the voice there, He returned to his working class roots, out of anger. Lost his composure. I'll stop lecturing you when you stop making such basic mistakes, you basic bitch.
Monsieur Falcon, please calm yourself. What is the point of all this yammering? I was off doing something else.
The ultimate point is that Toussaint's testimony is fabricated, made up, utter fiction. No, everything I've said is the truth. I suspect that the witness isn't even a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman! See, he admits it himself. That's not what I meant. What a twist.
Prosecutor, you have something that will put this arrogant Falcon in his place, don't you?
I must concede.
You concede?
On this point, at least, Falcon's evidence strongly suggests that the key component of Monsieur Kingsley's testimony is false.
Ah, no!
This doesn't mean that Prince Juan is innocent, of course. All Falcon has demonstrated is that this particular witness is unreliable.
But I did see something, I really did.
Alright, so maybe I didn't exactly see a shifty-looking fox. I made that part of the story up. But I did see a swan lurking around the south entrance on the morning of the murder. A swan?
Do shut up, witness. Your word is mud at this point. How can we possibly trust anything you have to say?
Your Honour, there's 1 minute at time. We're 10 minutes overdue to start on the heavy tortoise trial.
Is that late already? Curses, I was hoping we could have the case wrapped up in a single trial session.
It is a shame, but ultimately an accurate sentencing is always preferable to a speedy sentencing.
Yes, alright, I don't need to hear your moralising. Court will resume this Friday, the 21st of January, 9 o'clock. Clock. Don't be late. Prosecutor, do your damn job. Get this stupid fox a conviction already.
I would do my best to ensure that justice is served, Your Honour. It's funny that they mentioned the tortoise versus a hare trial, because I'd pre-written a joke for that. But they might have already... I don't know. Maybe that won't come up again, but anyway. A lot came up in that trial, huh? Brought a lot of stuff up. I'm feeling emotional. Yeah, no doubt about that. But something's bothering me. Why would that fisherman guy, Monsieur Kingsley, lie on the witness stand? Well, it's possible that he was coerced or bribed. That's just what I was thinking. Maybe the real murderer threatened the fisherman into making up a story about Prince Juan. Let's keep an open mind. Anything is possible at this stage. But to be perfectly honest, something else is bothering me about the trial. She weren't even there. Judge Romulus, he's acting without a shred of professionalism. He's obviously more interested in securing a guilty verdict than he is in discovering the truth, but why? Maybe he has a vendetta against Spanish royalty. I'm not so sure. There must be something else at work here. Well, you've straight up given me a question mark, so I don't know what voice to use for that. Excuse me, excusing me, Monsieur Falcon. Oh. Sorry to bother you, but this letter just arrived. I think it's for you. A letter for me? I wonder why it wasn't sent to my office. Have you been demoted to courier status, Rupert? Oh, hush, hush, Sparrowson. I don't need to be pitied by a first-year dropout. Oh, good comeback. So what does the letter say, Falcon? It's a threat. A threat made with cut-out newspaper letters. I did wonder why the casing was all wonky. Wow, I didn't know those things actually existed. Let me see. Oh, that's all the note says. Falcon. Oh no. Stop your investigation or there will be consequences. Scary. There is no question that this letter originated from Major Howell's murderer. He or she must be aware that we are getting close to uncovering the truth. Sounds about right, but why would a person write with cut-out newspaper letters like this? Masking one's handwriting would be the most common reason, although I can't help but wonder why they would bother, since we don't have any handwriting samples to compare it to. We're still going ahead with our investigation though, right? Nope. First sign of actual violence or intimidation, then we give up completely. Oh yes, absolutely. If a lawyer were deterred every time they received a threatening letter, they would never get any work done. Besides, with only 3 days before the next trial session, we can't afford to be worrying about petty things like this. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wow, you're right. Let's make those days count. I probably won't. Let's be honest.